Hello, my siblings and nibblings. It's your Queer Great Auntie here, along with Triangalila, to wish everybody a very happy end of Pride Month. Just wanted to share a few thoughts about Pride. In particular, I wanted to send all my Queer Auntie hugs to anyone who was at their first Pride this month, or later this summer, but also to places that have had, if you like, notable Pride parades. I'm thinking especially at the moment about Ballymena in Northern Ireland, who had their first ever Pride parade yesterday, and Budapest in Hungary, which had its 30th anniversary Pride parade yesterday. So in Ballymena, the local Pride organisers were sort of faced with a lot of challenges, not least that there had been some very unpleasant racist riots in Ballymena last month, but also that on Friday night, Saturday morning, before the parade was due to take place, two idiots, at least two idiots, went and spread slurry up and down the parade route in the centre of town. Two people have been arrested so far for criminal damage, but it is being treated as a hate crime by the police in Northern Ireland, which I think is a good step. It shows that they are taking seriously the intent behind this action. I mean, what kind of hate do you have to decide that polluting your own town centre is the way that you are going to express that hate? It's very, I mean, there's a phrase of shitting on your own doorstep, and this is absolutely what they've done in spades. Absolute props to all of the local business owners, especially within the centre of town, who arrived to open up their businesses on a very busy Saturday morning to discover their shops and streets and area just absolutely coated in agricultural waste. They and their staff spent the morning and the early afternoon cleaning up the whole town, and the Pride Parade went ahead. And again, despite four separate groups protesting the Pride Parade happening, but they still did it, and that is what Pride is about, because it is at heart a protest movement. It is at heart political. And as the organisers in Ballymena said, if they had changed their plans in any way, it would have meant giving in to hate. And I have nothing but admiration for the people who had the courage to go out in public in a very difficult atmosphere, and for everyone who managed to do that, even if there were those who didn't feel safe enough to participate but were still supportive. Absolutely understood. I'm so glad that it went ahead. I'm so glad that the local police were treating this ridiculous stunt as a hate crime. So that was Ballymena. In Hungary, they had their first Pride Parade in Budapest in 1995. Viktor Orban has been trying to turn the country into an authoritarian mess for that long and a bit longer. And Hungary has introduced what they call Russian style propaganda laws, whereby essentially just talking about or being visibly LGBTQIA plus can be considered a crime. So again, be gay, be crime. But despite that, there is a liberal mayor of Budapest who took on the kind of overseeing of the Budapest Pride Parade, to give it some political cover, essentially. And yeah, that went ahead. They reckon 200,000 people participated in the largest ever Budapest Pride. That's extraordinary. And again, I'm so happy that enough people felt like they had the courage to go and stand together and demand recognition and demand equality, and to be just accepted for who they are. You can't criminalize someone's existence. That's just nonsensical, but that is what these anti-LGBTQIA plus laws do. They are criminalizing the very existence of a proportion of the human population. So again, all my love and Queer Auntie hugs to everyone who was involved in Budapest Pride. But again, for those who didn't feel safe enough, you know, that is completely fine. I also send my Queer Auntie hugs to you, because there will have been a lot of people around the world over this last month who were not in safe places, were not in places where there was a local Pride event that they could attend, or maybe they couldn't attend a local Pride event because, again, in smaller, more rural areas like the one I live in, you don't always want to be outed by neighbours. Oh, we've got some Queer Auntie hugs from Uhuk. Is it Uhuk? I think it's Uhuk. It's one of my pussycats. So yes, she's here to give you all Queer Auntie hugs too. So yeah, I was reflecting a bit on my own experience with Pride parades and what they mean. I remember particularly 2015 going to Dublin Pride. We were invited as members of the Yes Equality campaign for Leitrim and Roscommon. We were the only constituency in the country that did not vote overwhelmingly for marriage equality, for same gender marriage. And so Dublin Pride kind of invited us to take part in the parade. It was an extraordinary day, but what really sticks out for me in my memory is toward the end of the parade, and so a local young person going past, just glowing is the only way I can describe it, just glowing all over, and they turned and said, "This is my first Pride." And I just felt, yes, this is why we do it. This is why we do it. It's very difficult to describe how it feels when you've spent your whole life being anxious about, people knowing your most private, intimate feelings, particularly if you know, or even if you're worried that the people around you might not accept you for that. And then suddenly to be in this context where you're surrounded by people who support and love you just for that, without even knowing who you are. They just know that you are part of the huge, incredible LGBTQIA plus family, and that's enough. So that is why we still have Pride parades. It's also very hard, like when we had the very first Leitrim Pride parade here a couple of years ago, that sense of going down my local main street and just seeing houses and businesses with all the different flags hanging out the windows, and just feeling like I've come home. This is my home, and they are absolutely out loud welcoming me and saying, "You're safe here." That's really, really important. It comes along one of the most basic necessities for life. You need a safe place to live. That's a really fundamental necessity. So again, my heart goes out to those who aren't living somewhere like that, or who can't get to safety. I know that it's a very difficult time. But here I am saying that even if you haven't experienced that moment of acceptance and belonging in a physical place, you still have a family who loves you and who will support you and who's got your back and will not leave you high and dry. You have us here all over the world. There are people in your LGBTQIA plus family, and we are ready to accept you. We are ready to put our arms around you. We are ready to stand with you. because we are one family. So with that said, here's me and Triangalila to give you some queer auntie hugs for everybody. And I really hope that you've managed in whatever way, whether it's big or small, that you've managed to feel that belonging, that you've managed to feel that there are others out there who are here for you, who love you, even though we've never met you, just because you are an incredible human being, exactly how you are. So I'm going to leave it at that for now, folks. I hope that whatever way you have spent official Pride Month, that it's been meaningful to you. If you're going to other Pride events later down the summer, I hope they work out for you, that you really enjoy them. Myself, the next thing on my list is to get to Dublin for Trans and Intersex Pride on the 12th of July, because I am not going to let down my trans, NB, intersex, gender fluid, gender queer, and allogender, not allogender, you know what I mean, all of the different genders. I'm just a silly cis lesbian, but you're all part of my family, and even if I don't understand your personal journey, I feel sympathy for your struggle just to exist as yourself. That's something that we all are entitled to. So until next time, that's Queer Auntie Hugs from me.